Hello, and welcome to Thomas Listens, a podcast where Thomas listens to an album and then tells you what he thinks about it. Today we're going to be talking about Possession, the third studio album by the New York-based indie rock group Joywave. This album is a lot of fun. It is a kind of pseudo-concept album, the same way, say, like The Human Condition or Glorious Sound Prep by John Bellion is, and the fact that it deals with the concept of possession as kind of this abstract thing and focuses on kind of what possesses us, touching on the media, on lost love, on trying to get away, growing old, our passions, romance, touches on a bunch of different ideas. And how good you personally think this album is, I think, just comes down to how good do you think it talks about these ideas. So getting into it a little bit, it sounds like an indie rock album. It's got its guitar, it's got its synth sounds, very sonically similar to like Saint Motel meets Half Alive. You get vibes like Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. I know I need to listen to The Weeknd's new album. That's important. But it's very fun to listen to, and there's kind of enough happening to keep you entertained. Songs like Blast Off with 4Fs have spaceship sounds in the background, rockets taking off. No Shoulders a little bit retroer. Like a Kennedy is just a straight ballad, and kind of everywhere in between. If you want an idea of what this album looks like, listen to the title track, Possession, because it's kind of just the average of everything else in the album. Fun to listen to and enough going on to keep you entertained, but not super fantastic. But the real cool part about this album is the content of it, because it deals with all of these different topics about possession. You've got like the media age and wanting to get away and constantly being bombarded by all these opinions with Like a Kennedy and Coming Apart and the funny thing about opinions. Like all of these are dealing with like kind of being overwhelmed by that. Then you have your romantic side of it. Blank Slate and the title track Possession are about this romance. It's about like giving all of yourself to another person, and that being a little bit worrying, a little bit scary, but doing it because you care about the other person. Half Your Age deals with like growing old, kind of the idea of you wake up, you're 40, and you realize, wait a minute, I'm not going to be a famous artist, I'm not going to be a pro athlete, I'm not going to be whatever, and kind of having to come to terms with that. It's like all your heroes are half your age. Songs like Fear, Fear, with periods, and Obsession are kind of the two sides of finding your passions, right? Fear deals with, hey, I could be good at this, but I'm too afraid and I talk myself out of it. And Obsession deals with, I've got like something I need to distract myself with, so I do this thing to distract myself from what's actually happened, and then I let it go the instant that stops working. So both of those deal with like kind of your own mind and trying to figure out like your passions and what to do and why that doesn't really work out. You get to my favorite song on the album, Blast Off with 4Fs, and it's kind of about the people you barely see. It's like, we're so different, we're different species, and that resonates with me because, like, I have a lot of, like, the closing thing is, I'm in town for an hour, you want to hang out, and then I'm going to leave. And that resonates with me because I've got a lot of these 1 hour friends that it's like I see them once over summer break, once over winter break, and then I don't talk to them at all in between. And the spaceship sounds are like fun, and I think it's a good satire / way of framing it. Or you get a song like No Shoulder, which has literally all of the above combined into one song. It's got all of the media, it's got all your passions, it's got your lost love, it's got all of that. And all of these have kind of enough to think about, right? You kind of are like, these songs aren't just super surface level songs. Like the album Surf by Surfaces, all of the songs there are very surface level. In that case, I think it works, but there's kind of just enough to think about, but it doesn't really dive deeply into any of these topics. It's honestly pretty repetitive, like the lyrics get said a bunch of times repetitive. Very evident on songs like Who Owns Who. Just that's kind of the rock motif and the like rock pop motif, but it's kind of annoying to listen to some of these songs, and it doesn't really dive super deep. The best song on this album is Like a Kennedy, and it's not my favorite song, but it's like a ballad, and it goes into media, and it's really cool to listen to. And then the rest of the album was like, that's alright. The front half is definitely better than the back half, with, in my opinion, the exceptions of No Shoulder and Blast Off. But to close it, I'd recommend it if you want some, like, really light, really fun, really easy listening music that you can just kind of put on and jam to. Like, it's very summer convertible on a beach type of thing. And it's got just enough substance that you can get into it. But it's not really super sonically impressive, and it's not really very topically impressive, but it's solid enough at both. So I'm feeling a 7 on this album. Good enough, decent album, but not anything super special. And so those are my thoughts on this album. Tell me what you think about it, and let me know if there's any albums you think I should review. Bye.